After 15 long years, a precedent-setting terrorism lawsuit is being heard in federal court. It involves the case of Abousian Abdelrazak, a Canadian who was arrested, tortured and detained in Sudan for years. CTV's Judy Trinh was in court today for the opening arguments. Judy.
Heather, Canadian Abousian Abdelrazak first filed this lawsuit in 2009. That's the year when the federal government was forced by a court order to repatriate him from Sudan. After 15 years, Abousian Abdelrazak gets his day in court.
Waiting so long and finally we are here.
The Sudanese Canadian is suing the federal government for $27 million.
This is the most serious violation of human rights of a Canadian citizen ever by the Canadian government. It was over a period of 6 years where he was detained, tortured, and then exiled from Canada.
In 2009, a federal judge ordered the government to bring Abdelrazak home. The Montreal man was arrested after traveling to Sudan to visit his sick mother in 2003. His lawyer says the evidence shows that Canada directed Sudan to detain Abdelrazak so they could get information to pass on to the Americans.
Sudanese authorities were telling the Canadian ambassador in Khartoum that they'd only arrested Mr. Abdelrazak because the Canadian Security Intelligence Service asked them to.
The Crown argues the government had reasonable grounds to suspect Abdelrazak as a threat and that he's the author of his own misfortune because he returned to Sudan on his own despite warnings not to do so. Abdelrazak did know Ahmed Rassam, nicknamed the Millennium Bomber, who crossed into the U.S. with explosives destined for the Los Angeles airport. CSIS agents also interviewed Abdelrazak on 9/11. Abdelrazak has been investigated by the RCMP but never charged, treated by authorities as collateral damage from the war on terror.
I hope the justice is there for every Canadian, including me.
During the trial, diplomats and Mounties will be witnesses, CSIS spies will testify behind a screen, and Lawrence Cannon, the conservative foreign affairs minister who refused to issue emergency travel documents, will also take the stand. This trial is scheduled for 8 weeks. According to documents filed in Parliament, the federal government has already spent more than $10 million fighting this case. Heather.
Judy, thank you.